Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council is coming to you live from the council chambers and is a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 8th business meeting of this new term and its second meeting of calendar year 2020. The meeting has an agenda of just over 10 pages, including one full page of elections and confirmations, 2+ pages of resolutions, about 3 pages of first reading bills, about 2 pages of second reading bills, and about 3 pages on bills on third and final reading. One resolution before the council tonight is Resolution RS 2020-172. It commends Tennessee Governor Bill Lee for his executive order establishing 12 weeks of paid family leave. It calls for all areas of Metro government to implement paid family leave policies equal to or greater than the state's. The state begins their program on March 1st. Right now, the school board does not have any such policy for paid family leave. Metro workers receive about six weeks of paid leave. Mayor Cooper has said he supports extending paid family leave for Metro workers. This resolution has at least 16 council members signed on as co-sponsors. It shows probably pretty close to a majority of the council is supportive as well. It'll probably pass on the consent agenda tonight. However, this is memorializing only and contains no financial impacts about what that kind of change will cost. There is one budget resolution that was supposed to be up tonight. It was deferred 2 weeks ago. It's going to be deferred and we understand withdrawn tonight. It is Resolution 2020-149. It appropriates a little less than $600,000 from the general fund to the Davidson County Sheriff's Department to house an extra 100 federal prisoners. It's anticipated the $500,000 will generate $1 million. That will put $500,000 towards the $40 million deficit the city has in its state-approved plan to wipe out that deficit in the budget, which is over $40 million. There was some problems and some concerns that perhaps the sheriff's office will be taking some ICE prisoners out of this. We don't know if that's the reason, but the sheriff said he can make up the difference in that $500,000 in savings in other parts of his departments, and apparently we won't see this come back to the council once it's withdrawn tonight, but we'll wait and see what else happens. Another item that will also be deferred tonight for at least 2 meetings for more work is another effort by the council to do something about better regulate the scooters downtown, or what's also called in the council the shared urban mobility devices. This has been going on for some time, not for this council, but the last council as well. And right now they're still trying to work out what they want to do. They're trying to put a new RFP out on the street to better regulate it. That didn't work. This was an effort to try to come back and have a second RFP. That also seems to be stuck in the mud right now, trying to figure out what to do. And again, probably a 2-meeting deferral tonight. Also on second reading, a bill that would, for the first time on second reading, this is Bill 2020-114. It would amend the Metro Code to limit the idling of motor vehicles no more than it would be unlawful to remain idling for more than 3 minutes or longer than 1 minute if a vehicle is in a school zone. There are lots of different variances for that. Some people are wondering, those who are supporting it want to put it out there because they believe it will help air quality in town. Those who are not so sure about it think it'd be almost impossible to enforce and therefore perhaps not necessary. We'll see what the council has to say when it comes up tonight on second reading. Also on second reading, there was going to be a bill tonight that Councilman Steve Glover has that would put the council back into the MLS stadium controversy. There have been some concerns that that's being built too close. The new stadium will be built too close to the existing fairgrounds. They would like to see that not happen. They were going to put this to require a safety plan that would be approved by the fire marshal and others. Exactly who will approve it still seems to be a subject of some concern by council members. So we're going to have at least a 1-meeting deferral on this, although Councilman Glover assures me he does continue to plan to bring this bill back in the future. We don't normally talk about first reading bills, but there are 3 tonight that are going to create probably no controversy tonight. It will probably pass as all first reading bills normally do with 1 vote in omnibus. But by the time they come up in 2 weeks, may all bring up some more controversy. One was almost a complete rewrite of Metro's lobbying laws, affecting both outside lobbyists that come here to the council and also members of the administration. If it's passed, it would take effect at the end of the fiscal year in the end of June 2021. There's also a bill tonight that would be quite controversial and perhaps quite expensive, would bring an end to all Metro contracts with private prison operators, whether they would be with the sheriff and the jails, or also people in the juvenile court with the detention center, all of which has been in the news lately. That would not take effect until, if it's passed, until July 2022. So that would give some time for that to happen. But again, this is expected to be controversial and quite expensive to make that transition. Finally, there's a 90-day written notice that would be required under a bill before the council from all landlords to tenants if they're going to increase their rates, increase the rents. That could be particularly interesting because we understand state law only requires a 30-day notice. And also there's a pretty large percentage of Metro residents, about 46% that actually rent their domiciles or their residencies. If you want to follow tonight's meeting as it progresses, you can find the council agenda online, as well as the council staff analysis with an explanation of the legislation we've been talking about. Just go to the Metro Council portion of the Nashville.gov website, then go to the Legislative Information Center. We'll also be pasting the numbers of the bills we've been talking about tonight and any others that are on the agenda so you can see what's coming up during the meeting and follow it for consideration. The council seems to be ready to begin its meeting. Let's go now to Vice Mayor Jim Shulman, who will gavel tonight's meeting to order.
No, it ain't a great time. I don't have much choice.
We're going to start. Very good. All right. So will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, January 21st, 2020. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation this evening will be offered by Dean Jason Curry from Fisk University, a guest of Council Member Quante Toombs.
Let us pray. Eternal God, we pause this evening to say thank you. From the bottom of our hearts to the depths of our souls, we give thanks to you. We thank you, O God, for the presence of our elected officials this evening. To be sure, we give thanks for their visionary leadership within the city of Nashville, and we thank you for their diligence and for their steadfastness as it concerns the complex needs of the people who reside therein. Tonight, O God, we thank you for the plans that are being created for a more vibrant and caring and compassionate community. Continue to inspire these leaders so that they may in turn continue to inspire us. Bless the work of their hands as they amass and manage resources to improve our collective condition. We pray that you might be the wind beneath their wings as they take the dreams and the aspirations of their constituents to heights yet unknown. We solicit your divine presence at the outset of this important meeting. Bless each and every person present, and bless those who had a mind to be here but not away. For what you have done, for what you are doing, and for what you shall do in the life of this beloved city, we pause to say thank you and amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good.
We practiced it at our school.
Okay. So you all may be seated. So ladies and gentlemen, please thank Mr. Prince Foster, a fourth grader and a guest of Councilmember Hurt, who rang in our meeting today. He told Councilmember Hurt that he wanted to intern here, or intern for Councilmember Hurt. He's very interested in the metropolitan government. I think he's interested in running for council. Not this year, but maybe next year, all right? So thank you for doing it. All right. Okay, snip back down there. And Councilmember Hurt is going to escort Mr. Foster back to the back. All right, so without objection, we will suspend the calling the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of those members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meetings, minutes from January 7th, 2020? Heard a motion, properly seconded. Without objection, the minutes of the meeting will stand approved as written. Madam Clerk, any messages from the mayor?
No, Mr. Vice Mayor, there are no messages from the mayor.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, before we get to elections and confirmations, I need to remind the council and the viewing public that our election for the 3 vacancies on the Community Oversight Board that we are responsible for, the council will be held at the next meeting, February 4th, 2020. Madam Clerk, Do we have any nominations that came in today for that third seat?
No, we did not, Vice Mayor.
Okay, so we had no new nominations. We had 11 that were filed at the first, for the first two vacancies. Those 11 nominations will be considered for those, all three vacancies. So they carry over for the first two and for the third vacancy that came in after the first two vacancies were announced. So all 11 that filed nominations, assuming they get all their paperwork in, all their questionnaires, will be eligible for consideration for those three seats at the next meeting. Two other announcements before we go on. First, a big hearty congratulations to our Tennessee Titans for their amazing run through the 2019 season and then through the AFC playoffs. I think it's fair to say a job very, very well done. And a reminder, I want to make sure, obviously, we have a special committee that is looking at this. The presidential preference primary and the county primary elections will be held on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. That's our next election, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. It is not too late to register to vote. Please register if you have not. The early voting schedule is as follows. Wednesday, February 12th through Tuesday, February 25th. You can vote early at the Howard Office Building located at 700 2nd Avenue South. All other early voting locations will be open from Wednesday, February 19th, 2020 through Tuesday, February 25th. So again, Howard School Office will open first. Then all other voting locations will be open from Wednesday, February 19th through Tuesday, February 25th. All locations for those voting precincts open at 8 a.m., but they have different closing times on different dates. Please check the Election Commission website or call 615-862-8800 for details. That's 615-862-8800 for details. We want people to register to vote, and then we want you to exercise that right to vote. All right, on to elections and confirmations. Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized for a report from the Rules Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. We first had the Beer Permit Board, the reappointment of Mr. Brian Taylor and Mr. William Conway for terms expiring October 31st, 2023, and we voted 8 in favor, none against. I move approval.
All right, so we've got two, Mr. Brian Taylor and Mr. Christopher Bellamy.
No, Taylor and Conway.
Wait a minute, okay, I'm sorry. Taylor and Conway. All right, so we have the reappointment of Mr. William Conway, term expiring October 31st, 2023, and the reappointment of Mr. Brian Taylor, term expiring October 31st, 2023. Those were the only two that came through.
We also did the approval, or the appointment,
Yes.
first-time appointments of Mr. Joe Perlin and Ms. Bailey Spalding for terms expiring October 31st, 2023, 8-0 as well.
Okay. All right, so let me make sure I've got this right. We have a lot of beer permit board folks, and that's why we're trying to make sure that we've got this right. The reappointment of Mr. William Conway, the appointment of Mr. Joe Perlin, the appointment of Ms. Bailey Spalding, and the reappointment of Mr. Brian Taylor. Those were the four that the Rules Committee picked up.
Correct.
I have a motion to approve those four. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. So I'm going to ask you all to stand up again in just a minute, but you can sit down for just a minute. Thank you. Unless you want to stand up for everyone, but that's okay. All right, going on, I've got the Community Oversight Board.
We also had on the Beer Permit Board, we deferred, I don't know if we need to do this, but
Okay.
Mr. Christopher Bellamy, Ms. Delphine Fox, and Ms. Kia Jarman. We voted 8-0 to defer one meeting.
Okay. All right, so those are deferred one meeting, all right? Community Oversight Board?
Community Oversight Board, we had the appointment of Mr. Andrew Goddard for a term expiring January 31st, 2022, filling the unexpired term of the Honorable Bob Cooper, and the reappointment of Dr. Phyllis Hildreth for a term expiring January 31st, 2023, and we voted 8 in favor, none against.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve those two appointments.
Move approval.
Move approval. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Hospital Authority.
Real quick, if I may, Mr. President, those two COB, we also had two COB interviews that we did tonight because they were unable to attend in 2 weeks. I'd encourage you to check those out on YouTube when that gets posted. Next meeting, we'll be voting for COB at the same meeting as we interview folks. So I'd encourage you to attend or hear from somebody who could attend so that you have a chance to see our candidates for COB prior to voting. Now in Hospital Authority, we had the appointment of Dr. Ranguraj Ramanujam for a term expiring November 4th, 2023. We voted to approve, 8 in favor, none against, and move approval.
All right, so I've got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the Nashville Education, Community, and Arts Television, the appointment of Mr. Brian Rossman for a term expiring February 5th, 2023, and the appointment of Mr. Willie James Sims Jr. for a term expiring February 5th, 2022, filling the unexpired term of Ms. Emily Booth Masters. Voted to approve, 8 in favor, none against, and move approval.
Okay, so I've got two appointments, Mr. Brian Rossman and Mr. Willie James Sims Jr. These are for appointments to NECAT. There's a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt.
And last but not least, Stormwater Management Committee, the appointment of Mr. Jesus Gomez Velez for a term expiring October 31st, 2023. We voted to approve, 8 in favor, none against.
Okay, so this is appointment of Mr. Jesus Gomez Velez for a term expiring October 31st, 2023. Stormwater Management Committee, proper motion, proper second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, and Ms. Littman is deferred?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I think is that your committee report? All right, well, it sounds like you had your work cut out for you tonight. So let's make sure that I've got all these correct. So, and if you will stand this time when I call your name, so I got you right. I've got Mr. William Conway for serving on the Beer Permit Board, Mr. Joe Perlin, Ms. Bailey Spalding, and Mr. Brian Taylor. Those are all for the Beer Permit Board. For the Community Oversight Board, I've got Mr. Andrew Goddard and Dr. Phyllis Hildreth. Hospital Authority, Dr. Ranhari Ramanujam. How bad did I do that? Pretty bad, I see. Okay, thank you. Okay, he's for the Hospital Authority. For NECAT, Mr. Brian Rossman and Mr. Willie James Sims Jr. And for the Stormwater Management Committee, Mr. Jesus Gomez Velez. So on behalf of the entire Metro Council, we thank you for your willingness to serve and volunteer your time and expertise to help Nashville and Davidson County. Please join me in thanking them.
Everybody, oh man, feel like we just played a game. You are my cousin. Oh man, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Parker back there, is that it? Okay. So we are ready now to get started again. Before I move further, I would like to recognize that we have our trustee in the back, Mr. Parker Toller. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Toller. Thank you for being here. And I did need to make a comment. So when Mr. Foster, Prince Foster, was up here, and I think there he is, he's still back here. So he was very enamored with Councilmember Kathleen Murphy, and that's because she has candy on her desk. He was trying to make sure he remembered her name so when he went back he could talk to her. So we now move on to the public comment period. This is the time dedicated to allow members of the general public who have registered in advance to speak on issues relevant to Nashville and Davidson County. We have one individual tonight who signed up. It is Miss Kathy Jennings. She's from Councilmember O'Connell's district, lives at 807 Montrose Avenue. She is going to give us an introduction to the contributor. So, Ms. Jennings, we're glad you're here. We always encourage people to come talk to us. You have 2 minutes to address this body.
Good evening, council members. I just wanted to introduce myself tonight. My name is Kathy Jennings. I am the executive director of The Contributor, Nashville's street paper for over 12 years. We are members of the Nashville Continuum of Care, the Downtown Partners, and the Chamber of Commerce. We've also been presenters at the Tennessee Workforce Development Convention. We publish a social justice newspaper that we sell to people experiencing homelessness for 50 cents, and they in turn sell it to the public for $2 plus tips. In this way, the Contributor helps our neighbors climb out of homelessness and establish their own micro businesses and work their way into housing. Vendors earn immediate income, establish meaningful relationships, regain their dignity and self-confidence, and become contributors, not takers, to the community. Why can we do this? Newspapers are protected by the First Amendment, freedom of the press. Newspapers don't need permits like a hot dog vendor. Our vendors interact daily with volunteers, and they attend meetings where they learn things like inventory and financial management, sales skills. We have job fairs. They receive flu shots. We're registering to vote this week. And most recently, we've added a housing navigator to our staff and a ready-to-work program to help our vendors apply for housing, get connected to case managers, and get funding and applications for birth certificates, state IDs, Social Security cards, and health insurance. Vendors always sign a contract with a code of conduct, and we enforce that contract. We also verify all our vendor purchases, and this can be used as proof of income for housing. The fact is that over 70% of our vendors who vend with us for 6 months or more have obtained housing. We would like for you to consider the Contributor as an alternative to panhandling. We believe that panhandling can be desperate. It can provide you with a meal or a night in a hotel, but it is not a long-term solution to housing. Our vendors have sold over 6.5 million copies of an award-winning newspaper, and they have contributed $15 million to the Nashville economy. Thank you for your time and support.
Thank you, Ms. Jennings. I appreciate it. All right, again, if you're interested, we have the next public comment period, which will be the second meeting in February. If people are interested, please sign up. All right, so we now move to resolutions on the consent agenda. I'm going to go through the items that are not on the consent agenda. Please listen carefully. If something else needs to be bumped off the consent agenda, let me know. So these are the items that we're pulling from the consent agenda. Resolution RS 2020-149, Resolution RS 2020-164, Resolution RS 2020-165, and Resolution RS 2020-173. Those are the 4 that I have that are not on the consent agenda. Anything else needs to be pulled? Councilmember Benedict, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So RS 2020-144 needs to come off consent, please.
RS 2020-144 comes off the consent agenda. Councilmember Sepulveda.
Can you come back to me real quick?
Yeah, you're the last one in.
The one that, I'm trying to find it right now, it's Mendez and Henderson. It's the one that went back to committees. 157.
Which one is it?
It's 157. It was right in front of me.
Oh, 157. Okay, so you want to pull that from the consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Van Rees?
Sorry. 175, please, for a amendment.
Okay.
Housekeeping.
Okay. So how about if I go back over those again real quick? These are the ones that are off the consent agenda. 144, 149, 157, 164, 165, 173, and 175. Anything else that needs to come off? Okay, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to read the captions on the ones that are still on the consent agenda. If something does need to be pulled off, let me know at the end. Resolution RS 2020-162 by Council Members Mendez and Hancock. Resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the Metropolitan Government through the state trial courts to provide Tennessee Highway Safety Office Recovery Court enhancements to existing recovery court programs and services to improve alcohol countermeasures. Resolution RS 2020-163, Councilmember Mendez, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of John Hongstermeyer in the amount of $15,000 with said amount to be paid out of the Self-Insured Liability Fund. Resolution RS 2020-166 by Council Members Mendez, Hurt, and Hancock. Resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health to provide public health activities to enhance the health and well-being of women, infants, and families by improving community resources and service delivery systems available to them. Resolution RS 2020-167 by Council Members Mendez, Hurt, and Hancock. Resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health to improve the health of the citizens of Davidson County through targeted strategies to prevent and control the use of tobacco. Resolution RS 2020-168, Mendez, Hager, and Hancock. Resolution approving an application for a child and adult care food program grant from the Tennessee Department of Human Services to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Parks and Recreation Department, to provide nutritious meals and snacks for children attending after-school programs in 6 park locations. Resolution RS 2020-169 by Mendez, Hager, and Hancock. Resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee, the Tennessee State Library and Archives, to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Nashville Public Library, to make improvements as needed to the archival processes, services, equipment, infrastructure, or practices to facilitate public access to records. Resolution RS 2020-170 by Council Members O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson. Resolution authorizing Boom Sign and Lighting, Inc. to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 535 Fifth Avenue South. Resolution RS 2020-171 by Council Member Mendez. Resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Yulonga Lot Carter against the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County in the amount of $13,000. Said amount to be paid out of the Self-Insured Liability Fund. Resolution RS 2020-172 by Sledge, Van Rees, and others. Resolution commending Tennessee Governor Bill Lee for Executive Order 11 regarding paid family leave and calling for all areas of Metro Nashville government to implement paid family leave policies equal to or greater than the paid family leave outlined in the aforementioned executive order. Resolution RS 2020-174 by Councilmember Hurt. Resolution encouraging employers in Davidson County to provide a workplace wellness program for their employees. I think that's got them all. Anything else that needs to be bumped off the consent agenda for resolutions? All right, seeing none, we're going to take committee reports. Councilmember Mendez, I'll come to you first, Budget and Finance.
The Budget and Finance Committee recommended several resolutions for approval.
Wait, well, you're on.
It's not on.
All right, how about Councilmember Hurt? Try that. Wait a minute. Can you hear me?
And you light
Councilmember, can't hurt me. Okay.
Give me. I guess he can't hear me.
All right. No, it's not working.
Test.
Can you? No, still can't hear me. Hello?
Loudly.
Testing. Testing.
Because apparently a lot of people, oh, yep. Mike's back.
Of course. Yeah. We better stop this conversation.
Testing. No. Hello? Hello? No. All right.
We don't have to have the bias.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing that should have a role.
This priority button. Hello? Okay. 10 minutes. Okay. Hello? Okay, so can you all hear me in the back? Short calendar, so we can proceed ahead, or if you would rather, it would take 10 minutes to reboot the Okay, so I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, properly seconded. Any discussion? If you do, raise your hand. Oh, Councilmember Rosenberg?
Hold off consent anyway.
Okay. It's not on consent, so, but that's okay. We appreciate your due diligence. All right, so 175 is not on the consent agenda. All right, so we have a motion to approve the consent agenda, properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Okay, so now we go back to items on the under resolutions that were pulled from the consent agenda. It's resolution. The first one is RS 2020-144 by Councilmember Benedict, a resolution exempting Tiny Room LLC located at 1106 Chester Avenue from minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit pursuant to Section 7.08.090E of the Metropolitan Code. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Chapter 13.
Okay, so there's a motion to defer indefinitely, properly seconded. Any discussion? I'm looking at the board. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. RS 2020-144 is deferred indefinitely. Resolution RS 2020-149 by Councilmember Mendez, Pulley, and Hancock. Resolution appropriating for the benefit of the Davidson County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $587,900 in the general fund of the General Services District. Councilmember Mendez.
I withdraw that resolution.
Okay, so Councilmember Mendez withdraws the resolution. There's no motion. It's withdrawn. Resolution RS 2020-157, Councilmember Mendez, Henderson, and Hurt. A resolution modifying the master list of architects and engineers originally approved by resolution number RS 94-1050. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
The committee report is that the Budget and Finance Committee recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, and without any approval.
Okay, and it was re-referred to Public Works. Councilmember Henderson. Okay, Councilmember Mendez has moved to approve, properly seconded. Discussion, Councilmember Sepulveda. Okay, so Councilmember Sepulveda asked to be abstained on this vote, and since we have no machines, we can't vote anyway on the board. Right. Oh, that's working? Okay. So Councilmember Sepulveda should be marked as abstaining on this vote. We are on any other discussion on this? We're on RS 2020-157. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. One abstention, you adopt. Okay. Resolution RS 2020-164. 164. Nope, still not working. Resolution RS 2020-164 by Councilmember Mendez and Roberts. Resolution approving a contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Civic Engineering and Information Technologies, Inc., to provide software maintenance consisting of enterprise land management, e-permits, electronic plans review, queue management, contractor licensing management, geographic information systems, CityWorks PLL software, and related customizations and interfaces. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
Budget and Finance Committee recommended a 1 meeting deferral, 9 in favor, 0 against. There's one other.
Yeah, personnel, that is Councilmember Roberts. Do you have a committee report on 2020-164? Okay, and voted for it or to defer? Okay. Okay, so Councilmember Mendez, I go back to you. Okay, so there's a motion to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Councilmember Henderson. All right, so it's not listed. Was it referred over there? Okay. 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 Would you like it referred to Public Works? Councilmember Mendez, you okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So move to defer one meeting with Public Works, and we'll come back to budget.
Right. All right. So Councilor Mendez has amended his original motion to defer one meeting, but also to refer it to Public Works. Properly seconded. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized. Okay. So, Madam Clerk, can we abstain one member? Okay. So Councilmember Taylor is abstaining on this vote. So the motion is to defer one meeting, get it back to all the right committees, including also sending it to Public Works. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt deferred one meeting. Resolution RS 2020-165, Mendez, Hurt, and others. Resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health to provide HIV, STI prevention, surveillance, and PrEP clinic services. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
Start with committee reports. Budget and Finance recommended.
All right. Councilmember Hurt, Health and Hospitals. Grab that microphone. I don't know if it works. Yeah. Here, try it. Pull it up and see if it works.
You know, I've been trying to sing all night.
Yeah, I know. Try it just to see.
They can hear you on live TV. And you light up my life.
All right. Fortunately, we can't hear that. Okay, so you can on television. So you may have just cut a deal on a record. All right, so they can hear you on television. They just can't hear you in here. Health and hospitals.
Services voted 1 in favor and 1 abstention.
All right. All right. So back to you, Councilmember Mendez. So I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. We have an abstention, though. Okay, it's you. All right. So, Madam Clerk, we have one abstention. Any other questions on this? All right. So the motion is to approve. Again, it's been properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. One abstention. Councilmember Hart. Okay, moving on, we're on page 4 of the calendar, Resolution RS 2020-172 by Councilmember Sledge, Van Reese, and others. Resolution commending Tennessee Governor Bill Lee for Executive Order 11 regarding paid family leave and calling for all areas of Metro Nashville government to implement paid family leave policies equal to or greater than the paid family leave outlined in the aforementioned executive order. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized. So rules confirmations, Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized. Okay, back to you, Councilmember Sledge. So I got a motion to approve, properly second. Discussion. So Councilmember Glover, you're recognized.
I will not be supporting this because right now, the executive order we did a couple of years ago with our own staff wasn't budgeted properly, and until we can kind of get our head around the budget, I can't see putting more expenditures in place. And so it's not that I don't think it's a great idea, but financially, we in Nashville are not in the same position the state of Tennessee is from a financial standpoint. So at this point, I cannot support this.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Councilmember Glover. Any other comments? All right. So, Madam Clerk, I think we can do it by vote. If we're going to have a negative vote, then we have to go on the board pursuant to the rules. All right. So we're going to try this. Any other questions before we're voting? All right. See, we are on Resolution RS 2020-172. Madam Clerk, if you would, open up the machines. Again, we're voting on 2020-172. Everybody. Oh, okay. So for you all out there and the viewing audience, we're obviously having trouble with our machines, and we have a council member who can't vote because there's something terribly wrong with her machine. Oh, you're the sponsor. Okay. Okay. And all right, so we're away. Oh, so okay, so
Okay, so a couple of things. I think the working on the TV, and so if people want
so they can
to
actually
do
do
it,
it.
they'll hear it on TV.
Okay.
Yours is picking up everything because it's on.
Okay. So, Councilmember Van Rees, can you vote? Okay. So, Councilmember Van Rees votes yes. Madam Clerk, we're ready to take the vote. You mean to just take a vote by hand? Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen of the council, because we have trouble recording these votes, we're going to clear the screen and we're going to take another vote. That way, Councilmember Van Rees can vote. We believe that's right. So, Madam Clerk, if you will clear the machine. All right, so we are now back on voting on Resolution RS 2020-172. Madam Clerk, if you will open up the machine. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at the board. Are people having trouble voting?
And have her listed as. Not do a roll call and have her listed as the one listed as an open. Yeah. Let's do it that way and have.
Okay. So now we're having trouble getting the machine to tabulate the vote. So, so we believe, we show of hands, or how do we do it? So I think we know how the vote is. We have one negative vote, and I believe we have 2 abstentions.
So just announce the 2 abstentions and the negative vote.
Okay, so the negative vote is Councilmember Glover. 2 abstentions are, if you would raise your hand, Councilmember Pulley and Councilmember Johnston are the 2 abstentions. Everybody else votes aye. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you would, that means that the resolution passes. So like as in the Wizard of Oz, do not look at the board, do not look behind the curtain. Okay, so before we get on to the next resolution, I will let you know that the television audience can hear us, even though we can't hear ourselves. So obviously we understand that Councilmember Hurt has sung a beautiful rendition, and many people heard that, so thank you. We're waiting for people to respond back and say whether they liked it or not. We may do that from now on. Councilmember Sledge, you have a point of personal, a point of order?
Yes. In that case, then, should we not then be recognized to speak so that the TV audience can hear us?
Yes.
So from now on,
we're going to do that.
From now on, I'm going to start recognizing you and hitting your button, and you should pick up your mic so they can hear you.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
Everybody got that? So we're going to pretend like we can hear each other here. Television can pick us up with the mics, all right? All right. Resolution RS 2020-173 by Councilmember Suara, a resolution requesting the Metropolitan ITS Department to assist the council in creating a plan to implement an online messaging system for council members consistent with the Tennessee Open Meetings Act. Councilmember Suara, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee reports, please.
So committee reports, personnel, public information, that's Councilmember Roberts, you're recognized. Okay, deferred by rule, which means I go back to Councilmember Suara. Pick up your microphone. You're recognized.
Yes, I explained earlier to the committee that I was stuck in traffic and I was not able to make it to committee in time. So as a result, I would like to suspend the rules so that we can consider on the floor.
All right, so did you go to the Rules Committee?
I did.
Okay, Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilmember Suara came before us, and we either didn't have an issue with it or thought it should be deferred to the decision of the committee it was supposed to go in front of, but we're fine.
Okay. So the Rules Committee is okay with proceeding. So Councilmember Suara, just for purposes of where we are, this is on Resolution RS 2020-173. It went before Personnel. They deferred by rule. Councilmember Suara is asking for us to suspend the rules tonight so we can immediately take up the consideration of this resolution. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have a objection to suspension of the rules to consider hearing this resolution tonight? Seeing no objection, you're on your resolution.
Thank you.
All right.
This resolution is just the first step in a way to allow us to be able to do our job better. What it does is that, for example, we had a long weekend this past weekend. It gives us the opportunity, if you have a question for the sponsor, rather than going through the council office, you can actually go onto the forum and ask the sponsor a question directly. And it is in compliance with the Sunshine Law because the resolution is actually coming straight from the Tennessee Code. So this resolution is not creating the forum yet, but it's our first step for us to be able to discuss it. But also, it allows the ITS department to look into what are the systems that is required and to make sure we can build something that would actually conform with the Tennessee Code. So this resolution would allow us to move forward in the process and give us an opportunity to be able to communicate outside of meetings and hopefully get our meetings moving faster and working better and more diligent. Thank you. And I hope you all support it.
Thank you, council member. So there's a motion to approve. That's what you want to do?
Yeah,
move to approve?
Move to approve.
All right, so motion to approve, properly seconded. Discussion on the resolution. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am in support of this, and I am in support of it because I think this gives us the opportunity to move forward into the 21st century, right? So it's a great way for us to communicate. I think that it is important that it is open to the public, and so I appreciate that the bill's sponsor made it clear that that would be a part of the process going forward. But I do think that we are at times, we have obstacles to getting work done, and we have late meetings because of that, and this I think would actually give even more transparency to the public. So I am in support of this, and I would ask that my colleagues are as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Swope? Okay. Councilmember Bradford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just want to stand in support of this because one thing I ran on was making our city government more efficient and more effective. So being able to have this type of system where we can openly communicate within the law of the Sunshine Law would be a great asset to enable to ensure that efficiency.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Bradford. Any other discussion? All right, we are on Resolution RS 2020-173. Nobody else in the queue. Councilmember Suara, any last comments?
I do want to clarify that for the viewing audience and everyone that we would not be voting on the forum. It would just be for discussion. And so I think that is very important. We'll not be making decision on there, but we can ask questions and communicate. The actual decision-making will be happening in the chambers.
All right, thank you. All right, any other comments? If not, we are voting on RS 2020-173. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Resolution RS 2020-175 by Councilmember Van Rees, Hurt, and others. Resolution recognizing Nashville's trailblazing elected women office holders who broke barriers and influenced and inspired those who came after them. Councilmember Van Rees, you're recognized.
Yes, I need committee reports.
Yep. Councilmember Rosenberg, rules confirmations.
Thank you, Mr. President. We voted 7 in favor, none against, to approve RS 2020-175 as amended.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Van Rees, you're recognized.
Yes, I need to move the late filed amendment.
All right. So you have got a late filed amendment. It's did you have to bring it in front of the Rules Committee?
I did.
Okay.
The Rules Committee approved the amendment.
Okay. So you approved, or I'm going to go back to Councilman Rosenberg. You approved the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. We approved the amendment and the rule suspension. It's just a technical correction.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Councilman Rosenberg. All right. So we're going to have to suspend the rules. So Councilmember Van Rees, in order to get the amendment before you, you're going to have to move to suspend the rules.
I need to move to suspend the rules, please.
Okay. So what Councilmember Van Rees is doing is, because it was a late filed amendment, it's a technical correction. Any objection to suspension of the rules to consider the late filed amendment? Seeing none, you're on your late filed amendment.
Thank you very much. Just a brief explanation. It's a little bit interesting to note that the reason for this correction is because of a dutiful son, and because this is part of the suffrage movement of resolutions. It's kind of interesting. Mr. Mark North pointed out to me that his mom, Joanne North, served from 1979 to 1991, a full 3 terms, not 1986, but 1991. And so that is the reason for the amendment. And I ask for your approval, as well as the resolution in general, as it relates to trailblazers of women in government, as part of the series of resolutions offered by the Mayor's Council on the State of Women and the Women's Caucus.
All right, so you've heard Councilmember Van Rees, or you've tried to hear her. She has moved an amendment to add former council member and former, she was the property assessor, right? Got that right? Joanne North. To the resolution. That's the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion? Certainly do not want to leave Ms. North out. All right. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. You're back on your resolution
as amended, please.
All right. So the motion is to approve the resolution as amended, properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Van Rees. We have that gets us through the resolutions. We have a late filed resolution. Councilmember Van Rees, I believe it's yours.
Back up again. Thank you very much. This late filed resolution, I need to move that we suspend the rules so that I can introduce it, please.
Okay. Did you take it before the Rules Committee? Okay. Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. The sponsor brought this before rules, explained the nature of the late file, and we had no issue.
Okay, no issue by the Rules Committee. So, Councilmember Van Rees, just for the members of the council and the viewing audience, just a brief explanation of why you're filing this.
Certainly. One of the reasons that we're filing it late is because it is addressing an issue that actually, even at this very late hour, still is unconfirmed, that Governor Lee has actually signed the legislation HB 836 SB 1304. Of course, he is intending to sign it. It's been reported that his intent is there, but the legislative site at the state legislature has not indicated that it's actually been signed, and so I would like to go ahead and move this resolution forward, indicating that we have a serious issue in regard to the state's action. You can read the full amendments on your desk, resolutions on your desk, but particularly because it may result in a boycott of Tennessee business, sports leagues, and other event organizers. It have a terrible and tremendous negative impact on the finances of Nashville and also the state of Tennessee. Nashville is a welcoming place, and same-sex parents can and should reach out to the many adoption agencies that are happy to help same-sex couples adopt and start a loving family. We'd like to send a message to residents and to prospective businesses that Tennessee is a welcoming place, and this would be detrimental to the metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County. We went on record at the LGBTQ caucus of the Metro Council, and all 5 of us bring this a resolution to the body, and I urge your support.
All right, so we still have to get the measure before us. So
Please
is there any objection to considering the resolution tonight? Seeing none, you're on your resolution. You just explained it.
Yes,
So,
move adoption.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any other discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Van Rees. All right, we are now on bills on first reading, introduction, first reading. Is there, if there's no objection? Okay. Councilmember Murphy, before we get to trying to get a motion on all measures on first reading, anything that needs to be pulled off of first reading? Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you. I would like to move BL 2020-147 for first reading and defer second reading to the first meeting in May.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's bump it off the full agenda on first reading, and we'll take it up a minute. So we won't take it up as bills altogether on first reading. So we're bumping 2020-147 off of all bills to be considered on first reading. We'll come back to it. Anything else that needs to be bumped? All right, seeing none, no objection, we'll consider all ordinances except for that one on first reading. One vote. Is there a motion to approve all those bills? Okay, so I got a motion, proper second. We're voting on all bills on first reading except for 147. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. We're back now on BL 2020-147 by Councilmember Murphy. Again, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I would like to move this on first reading and then defer second reading to the first meeting in May. This is legislation that I've been working on for a few years with Hannah Zeitlin in our office and our former beloved attorney, Mike Jamison. And this is, I've had meetings with stakeholders, but I think what is important is that we put it out there for the public and for other stakeholder groups that we haven't heard from to give us feedback, and that way we can take it up with more information in May. So.
All right. So the motion is to approve on first reading tonight and then defer second reading until the first meeting in May. All right. That's the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. So there was a concern. You used the word beloved and Mike Jamison in the same sentence. Just making sure. We are now on bills on second reading. And we actually can take up some of them on a consent calendar. So let me tell you which ones we can consider on the consent calendar tonight. BL 2020-118, this is on page 7 of your agenda. 118 can be on a consent. 119 can be on consent. 120 can be on consent, and 121 can be on consent. The first 5 bills will not be. If you're okay, do any of those 4 need to be bumped off our consent calendar? Councilmember Porterfield, you're recognized. 119, okay, we're going to bump that one. So we're at 118, 120, and 121. Anything else that needs to be bumped? That's not a big consent calendar, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. All right, so BL 2020-118 by Hager and Hancock, ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Department of Parks and Recreation and Memphis Basketball LLC to allow Parks to participate in a youth basketball program operated by Memphis Basketball LLC. BL 2020-120 by Welsh, Murphy, and others. Ordinance to amend the geographic information system street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning alley number 1854 right-of-way from Landers Avenue to Grandview Avenue. And BL 2020-121 Murphy, Henderson, and O'Connell. An ordinance to amend the geographic information system street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning a portion of Ensworth Avenue right-of-way from Ensworth Avenue to Woodlawn Drive between parcels 116040-18800 and 116040-29800. All right, so those are the three measures on our second reading consent calendar. We'll go to committee reports. Councilmember Hager, you're recognized. Parks and Library, you've got 118.
This is on BL 2020-118.
Right.
We approved it 6-4-0 against.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
They were all approved, 15 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, so that's 120 and 121, because we'll come back to 119.
Yes.
Public Works, Councilmember Henderson, you're recognized.
Public Works recommended approval of bills 120 and 121, 11 in favor and 0 against.
All right, thank you. And Traffic and Parking, Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had, we pulled 119 from consent, is that correct?
119 is pulled.
All right, we had BL 2020-120, BL 2020-121, and those were both approved, 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. And can I have a motion to approve those three bills on consent? Got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, now back to the beginning of bills on second reading. BL 2019-50 by Councilmember Murphy, approved by the Planning Commission. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Property or his designee to transfer to Bonnie Small, administrator of the estate of Sylvia Rose Barish via the attached quitclaim deeds, any remaining interest the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County may have in certain parcels of property located at 264 Whitebridge Pike, 262 Whitebridge Pike, and 5540 Oakmont Circle. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized. Councilmember Murphy has stepped out. Without objection, we'll go on to the next bill, and then we'll see if we can go find her. BL 2019-109 by Councilmember O'Connell, Henderson, and Allen. An ordinance amending Chapter 12.62 of Title 12 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws and substitute ordinance number BL 2019-1658 regarding shared urban mobility devices. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to request committee reports, please.
Okay, Public Works, Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. At the request of the sponsor, Public Works Committee recommended a deferral of 2 meetings, 11 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, so Councilmember Henderson, the Public Works Committee moved to defer at the request of the sponsor 2 meetings. Is that right? Okay. Back to you, Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. We also got a report from Traffic and Parking. Same thing, recommendation of a deferral for 2 meetings, 5 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, so Councilmember O'Connell, you moved to defer 2 meetings?
I do, thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, so I got a motion to defer 2 meetings, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. BL 2020-114 by Councilmembers Hancock and Stiles. Ordinance to amend Chapter 10.56 of the Metropolitan Code to limit the idling of motor vehicles. Councilmember Hancock, you are recognized.
Committee reports, please.
All right, Public Safety, Councilmember Pulley.
Public Safety recommended indefinite deferral as substituted, 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Health and Hospitals, Councilmember Hurt. Councilmember? You've got a committee report on BL 2020-114.
$114.
114. Second reading, it's the bill on idling of motor vehicles.
The health, hospitals, and social services indefinitely deferred, 6 in favor and 0 against.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Hancock.
I'd like to move the substitute and move to defer indefinitely.
Okay,
as
so there's a
stated by the
motion
committees.
to move a substitute with the
With
idea that once you put that on, you would defer the bill indefinitely.
Yes, with comment.
All right, so that's the motion properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the substitute.
Okay, well, we definitely had a lot of outpouring of comments from the community, and I want to make sure that, although I don't think my microphone is working, that all of the community knows that we are listening. We're listening to both sides, and we're taking those concerns to heart. So the substitute lists things that the community has spoken of, such as the weather extremes, when you're actually in a parking garage, a parking structure, or parked on the side of the street is the actual concern, not when you're parked in your driveway. So we updated those things, as well as listed the legislation that's currently in place in the state of Tennessee for not idling your vehicle unattended, and also in Davidson County for the Metro government employees not idling for more than 1 minute in a Metro government vehicle. And I'd also like to thank Watt Bite Nashville for their support, Nashville General Hospital, Dr. Webb, the CEO, the American Lung Association, Christine Hart, the manager of the Healthy Air Campaign, WeGo, with Steve Bland supporting us, Belmont University, the president Bob Fisher, Transit Now Nashville, Dr. Cosby Allen Stone from Vanderbilt, who's an instructor in allergy and immunology, Dr. Heather Andrews, a doctor at St. Thomas, of course, our council members here, Joyce Stiles, Nancy Van Rees, Berkeley Allen, Zulfat Suara, Freddie O'Connell, and the director and producer of Idle Threat, A Man on a Mission, George Packenham, who started my knowledge of this issue. But I do agree with the community that we need to educate before we legislate, and I will move to indefinitely defer and work on an education campaign.
All right, so the motion is to, you would like to adopt, move the substitute.
Move the substitute, please.
All right, so let's do that one first. So there's a motion to approve the substitute, properly seconded. A discussion on, so you're on the list. Do you have a point of order, or do you want to talk about the? So, okay, so I'm sorry that nobody can hear. So, Councilmember Lee, yeah, hold on just a second. So you've got. Okay. All right, so, okay, so hold on. So first of all, Councilmember Gamble was before Councilmember Lee, so I have to go to her first. All right, so, and I apologize that it's hard to hear, so I can repeat, but let me go back. So just to make sure you all are clear, what Councilmember Hancock is doing is she has moved her substitute to properly seconded. We are on a motion to put a substitute on the bill, and then what she has said is once she does that, then she's going to defer the bill, if as substitute or not. She's going to defer it indefinitely, all right? So, having said that, Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized.
I would just like to say that I appreciate the sponsor adding the substitution to this bill to focus on education more than legislation. And I would like to also add that I feel that a good approach for us as legislators is to focus on the main problem for our emissions, which is too many automobiles on the roadways, and looking at a transit plan that will address that will reduce the number of emissions probably 10 times more than this idling bill would do. So I would just like to add that we look at the main problem that we have is too many cars on the road and needing a better transit plan, carpooling plan to address that in emissions.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Lee, now you're recognized.
Because I think, are we picking the mics up because they can hear out there? You
Right.
just can't hear in here, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. So I read this. I had a question because I wanted you to go over, you did your thank yous and everything. I just wanted you to go over the main points of the substitute. And I do understand it's being deferred, but I wanted to hear those main things because I had a lot of people in my district asking questions. So if you can just, with using the mic so that people can hear, you just go over some of the main points of that so my folks can hear. That's it.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So a lot of the concern that we heard from the citizens across Davidson County is the restrictions in the original bill. One of the restrictions was a $50 fee, and thinking that that is too much and we're going to be catching people idling all the time, so we removed the fee. Another concern was the overworked Metro Nashville Police Department and how we're almost 200 officers down. Tom Sharp in our health department actually pointed out to us, and our legal team, I think, simultaneously realized that this is not a enforceable law by the police department. This, because it causes air pollution, this would fall under the Department of Health. So we removed the enforcement from the law, and it would be reported to the Department of Health. And just like the Nobody Trashes Tennessee campaign, where when people report someone littering, that someone receives a brochure, perhaps that's something we could do in the future, is send a postcard just saying the benefits of not idling. Another concern of the community was the temperature extremes that we have in Nashville. So we put a exemption when it's below 40 and above 75. Another concern was just the multitudes of places that you could get caught idling. So we made the bill a bit more simple in that respect, where it's only on public streets or private parking lots or structures. So the science shows that it's when many cars are together idling when the smog is actually really harmful for those walking around. So in that respect, it's only where there would be multiple cars that would be doing that. And the science also shows that the younger and elderly folks that are sitting in the car with it idling are more susceptible. So we really encourage you, if you need to keep idling, but do so realizing that it could affect the health. And that's where we want to work on education. As the doctor from Vanderbilt stated, the likelihood of having a heart attack, stroke, asthma exacerbation, emphysema, COPD exacerbation, or a wide variety of other acute medical problems goes up on days with air quality. And as the American Lung Association states, in Davidson County, there are more than 14,000 children and 54,000 adults with asthma who are more likely to have an asthma attack on days with high levels of pollution. So I hear from the public that we do want to know about this. A lot of people are already changing their habits, and that's fantastic. But we want to continue the education campaign. And does that answer your question? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Hancock. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to rise to say, as Councilmember Gamble, I think even if there are legislative problems with this measure, bringing attention to the issue of air pollution in Nashville is critical at this time. We have seen multiple studies, including at the end of 2019, that suggest how bad air pollution is for health, including mental health. And I think it is the overall scenario of emissions, transit, and just air quality need to continue to be at the forefront of how we are thinking about public health. So I'd like to thank the sponsor in that regard. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember Swope?
Previous question.
All right. So Councilmember Swope has called the previous question. Previous question is on the substitute. Motion to substitute. All those in favor of the previous question say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Previous question prevails. We are voting on Councilmember Hancock's motion on the substitute.
And I would like to move to indefinitely defer.
Okay, we got to do this one first, and then we'll go back.
Move the substitute.
It's just the motion on the substitute. We're voting on the motion to substitute. All those in favor of the substitute say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Substitute is adopted. You are now on your bill as substituted. Councilmember Hancock, you recognize.
Now I would like to indefinitely defer, please.
All right, so now there's a motion to indefinitely defer, properly seconded. Did you push your button again? Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so Councilmember Swope has called the previous question on the motion to defer indefinitely. All those who were voting on the previous question, all those in favor of the previous question say aye. Opposed, no. Previous question prevails. Now we're on the motion to defer indefinitely. We're voting on that. All those in favor of the motion to defer indefinitely say aye. Opposed, no. Motion is passed. The bill is deferred indefinitely. Thank you, Councilmember Hancock and Councilmember Swope. Councilmember Glover? Okay. All right. All right, we're now going back to BL 2019-50 by Councilmember Murphy. That's the first bill on bills on second reading. This is the ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Property or is it designated transfer to Bonnie Small, Administrator of the estate of Sylvia Rose Barish, via the attached quitclaim deeds, any remaining interest the Metropolitan Government of Nashville has in certain parcels of property located at 264 White Bridge Pike, 262 White Bridge Pike, and 5540 Oakmont Circle. Councilmember Murphy, you reckon? Okay. We are on BL 2019-50. Okay? It's on your screen. It's on the board. And I'm talking as loud as I can. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm sorry I was out of the room for a phone call. I would like to move to defer this, and the planning committee recommendation is to defer it. 15 in favor, 0 against, and with that, I renew my motion to defer.
All right. So I was checking on something. So you gave the committee report. Is that right? All right. So the motion is to defer. Is it indefinitely?
1 meeting.
All right, so because it's a motion to defer 1 meeting, this is the third deferral, that means it becomes deferred indefinitely.
Fabulous, that works.
All right, so the motion is to defer indefinitely, properly seconded. Councilmember Taylor, hold on, let me get you a microphone. Even though it doesn't work, please pick up. There you go.
For the same reasons as the last that you guys don't know, I didn't explain it, but I have to abstain from this.
Okay, so Councilmember Taylor is abstaining on this?
Yes.
All right. So any other discussion? The motion is to defer indefinitely. Again, it's been properly seconded. Councilmember Taylor will be listed as abstaining on this vote. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to defer indefinitely say aye. Opposed, no. The bill is deferred indefinitely. All right, thank you. Okay. We're now on BL 2020-115 by Councilmember Glover. This is an ordinance amending chapters 10.64 and 16.28 of the Metropolitan Code to require a security plan for parking structures to be constructed in close proximity to a stadium, arena, or racetrack. It's 2020-115. Councilmember Glover, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right. Codes, Fair, and Farmers Market. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The committee voted 7 in favor, 0 against for the proposed amendment, and then voted for a 1-meeting deferral as amended, 6 in favor, 1 against.
All right. And the other one is Convention Tourism. Councilmember Swope, you're recognized.
Convention Tourism voted to pass as amended, 7-4-0 against.
Okay. Back to you, Councilmember Glover.
And forgive me, Vice Mayor, I should have moved the amendment first and then I guess asked for a committee report.
No, that's fine.
But I will move the amendment now, please, sir.
All right. So there is a motion to approve the amendment, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation.
It's basically a housekeeping, putting it in the right place in the code.
Okay. So any discussion on the amendment? Councilmember Allen, any questions? Okay. Any question on the amendment? We're on the amendment. Properly moved, properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Amendment is adopted. Councilmember Glover, you're back on your bill as amended.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. At the request of one of the committees, I'm going to defer 1 meeting to get some questions answered for them. And so at that point, we'll bring it back to the next meeting. So I move to defer 1 meeting, please,
okay,
sir.
So there's a motion to defer 1 meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none. Oh, Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized.
I just wanted to ask if it could be re-referred to codes.
Oh, with a okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just automatically assumed it would be
it gets re-referred back to codes. All right. So the motion is 1 meeting deferral, properly seconded. We're on the motion to defer. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember. BL 2020-116, Hager, Pulley, and others, an ordinance to amend Title 13 of the Metropolitan Code to provide for a modern symbol of access for disabled persons to be used on metropolitan government property and rights-of-way. Councilmember Hager, you're recognized.
Committee report.
Councilmember O'Connell, Public Works. Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. After some discussion, the committee recommended a deferral of one meeting. 11 in favor, 0 against.
All right, so the committee report is a deferral of one meeting. Okay, so Councilmember Hager.
Move to defer one meeting, and
Okay,
I'll
so-
file an amendment.
All right, so there's a motion. So the motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Councilmember Sledge, did you want to be recognized? Okay. So the motion is to defer one meeting. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Deferred one meeting. And we are now on BL 2020-119 by Councilmember Porterfield, Murphy, and others. This is an ordinance to amend the GIS street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by renaming a portion of Smith Springs Road between Smith Springs Road and Castlegate Drive to Castlegate Drive. Councilmember Porterfield, you are recognized.
Thank you. Committee reports, please.
Okay. For the purposes of just looking at your schedule, the ECD board passed the measure. Okay, that's not a committee here, but it approved. So we are now on planning and zoning. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you. We voted 15 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. Public Works, Councilmember Henderson.
The Public Works Committee recommended approval, 11 in favor, 0 against.
All right. And traffic and parking, Councilmember O'Connell. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Traffic and parking is you. That's right. I'm in the right place.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our committee reported that we could not hear a damn thing, but we passed it 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right. So I think that everybody approved, and I'm sorry that I keep messing you up on traffic and parking. So Councilmember Porterfield, you're recognized.
Thank you. For the purpose of the viewing audience, I just want to give a brief explanation what this is doing. Castlegate is a street in our district that has a curve, a slight curve to it. The portion of the street that is curved is actually named Smith Springs Road. Everyone in the community knows this portion of the street is Castlegate. The street sign actually says Castlegate. So at the intersection, it says Castlegate and Smith Springs Road, but technically it is Smith Springs and Smith Springs Road. So this will rename that small portion to Castlegate, the way that it's already known in the community, the way that the street sign already says. It will also help when emergency vehicles come into the community when they are trying to find that particular location. It was hard to find the intersection of Smith Springs and Smith Springs because it says Smith Springs and Castlegate. So I ask that you all approve. Thank you.
All right. So the motion is to approve. It's BL 2020-119. Properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. BL 2020-119 is passed on second reading. And I believe that takes care of all measures on second reading. We are now on bills on third reading. BL 2019-72 by Councilmember Young. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from CS, R10, and RS20 to SP zoning for properties located at Gallatin Pike, unnumbered 320 Kinnaird Drive, and 110 1 Mile Parkway at the southeast corner of Apple Valley Road and Kinnaird Drive. It's 21.81 acres. Councilmember Young, you are recognized.
Committee report, please.
Okay, committee reports, planning and zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We approve 15 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember Young, you are recognized.
Thank you. Because there is a community meeting scheduled for this Saturday, I'm going to ask for a 2-meeting deferral.
Okay, so the motion is to defer 2 meetings. Properly seconded. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Actually, I'm sorry. That was the motion that we approved. 15 in favor was to defer.
Okay, so the committee report is to approve the deferral motion of 2 meetings.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, so you've heard the sponsor. He wants to move to defer for 2 meetings. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-85 by Councilmember Lee, Murphy, and Henderson. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 4119 Murfreesboro Pike. Councilmember Lee, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I have committee reports, please?
All the committee reports are apparently in. You're
With
clear.
all of those in, I would like to move approval.
Got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt.
Thank you, sir.
BL 2019-89 by Councilmember Taylor. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by requesting a rezone from CS and RS5 to MUL zoning for property located at 1757 16th Avenue North and 1601, 1603, and 1609 Buchanan Street, approximately 70 feet southeast of Buchanan Street. It's 1.03 acres. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you. The committee voted 15 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, back to you, Councilmember Taylor.
I'd like to move for approval.
Okay, so a motion to approve, properly seconded. We're on third reading. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-91 by Councilmember Taylor. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from MUGA to MUIA zoning for property located at 345 24th Avenue North, approximately 400 feet west of 23rd Avenue North. It's 1.85 acres. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Yes, please. Committee reports.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you. 15 in favor, 0 against.
Right, Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you so much. I'd like to move for approval.
All right, so the motion is to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-92 by Councilmember Stiles. Ordinance to amend Title 17. Councilmember Stiles. Of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from AR2A to MULA zoning for property located at 5200 Hickory Hollow Parkway, approximately 1,200 feet west of Bell Road. It is 6.6 acres. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized.
Move to approve. Vice
Move
Mayor.
for.
Move to approve.
Okay, committee reports.
Any committee reports?
Committee reports. Councilmember
15 in favor,
Murphy.
0 against.
All right, now Councilmember Stiles.
I move to approve.
All right, so
Vice
there's a
Mayor.
motion to approve. It's been properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-93 by Councilmember Taylor. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for properties located at 4006 Clifton Avenue and 805 40th Avenue North at the northwest corner of Catherine Johnson Parkway and 40th Avenue North. It's 0.41 acres. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Thank you. Committee reports, please.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
15 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember Taylor.
I would like to move to approve.
Motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? We're on BL 2019-93 on third reading. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-103 by Councilmember Van Reese. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from R10 to RM9A zoning for properties located at 428 Williams Avenue and Nesbitt Lane unnumbered at the northern terminus of Walker Terrace. It's 9.0 acres. Councilmember Van Reese, you're recognized.
Committee report, please.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
15 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, back to you, Councilmember Van Reese.
With all reports in, I move approval.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-104 by Councilmember Sledge. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from R6 to OR20A zoning for properties located at 755, 757, 759, and 761 Linwood Avenue, approximately 160 feet west of Ridley Boulevard. Councilmember Sledge.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
15 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Sledge.
Approval.
Got a motion to approve on third reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-105 by Councilmember Syracuse. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by amending a specific plan for property located at 921 Perimeter Court, approximately 830 feet southeast of Perimeter Place Drive, 3.42 acres to permit 64,500 square feet of hotel use. Councilmember Syracuse, you're recognized.
Vice Mayor, committee reports, please.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
15 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Syracuse, you're recognized.
Move approval.
Motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-106 by Councilmember Rutherford. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from AR2A to MULA zoning for property located at 6210 Nolensville Pike, approximately 180 feet southeast of Bienville Drive and within a corridor design overlay district 3.21 acres. Councilmember Rutherford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee reports.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
15 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Rutherford.
Move approval.
Motion to approve on third reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-107 by Councilmember Sepulveda. Ordinance to amend Title 17 excuse me, of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from R6 to SP zoning on property located at 325 Flora Maxwell Road, approximately 730 feet east of Nolensville Pike, 0.32 acres, to permit 4 multifamily residential units. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
15 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Sepulveda.
Move for approval.
Motion to approve on third reading, properly seconded. We're on BL 2019-107. Nobody in the queue. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-108 by Councilmember Taylor. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 1601 Knoll Street. The southwest corner of 16th Avenue North and Knoll Street is 0.18 acres. Councilmember Taylor.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning.
Favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Taylor.
Move for approval.
Motion to approve on third reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-110 by Councilmember Murphy. Ordinance amending Section 13.08.015 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to the report from Metropolitan Historical Commission for proposed changes to street names. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you. With all committee reports in, I'd like to move for approval.
The motion is to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. BL 2019-112 by Councilmember Sledge, Murphy, and others. Ordinance to amend the Geographic Information System Street and Alley Centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing the name of Gray Street to 3rd Avenue South. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized.
Move approval.
Motion is to approve, properly seconded. It says it's referred to the ECD board. Madam Clerk, approved. It's been approved, so all committee reports are in. The motion is properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Okay. We're on BL 2019-113 by Councilmember Rosenberg. Ordinance readopting the code of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, Tennessee, prepared by the Municipal Code Corporation, including supplemental and replacement pages thereof, containing certain ordinances of a general and permanent nature enacted on or before August 21st, 2019. Councilmember Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move approval.
Okay, the motion is to approve because the committee reports are in. Motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
Thanks, Mr. Vice Mayor. Given all the technology problems we had last term, and now there's a couple different snafus that have come up here, I know that there's a lot of people in a lot of departments that have worked really hard to address this. But I would request, I don't know if it's proper to put it in the form of a motion, but I would request that the council get some sort of written update about what's been done since the last term ended and what the status is, given the fact that this is I listened briefly on TV. You could hear it clearly on TV, but obviously it's a good thing we had a light budget agenda tonight because not everybody can interact fully. So I'd like to make a request. I can put it in form of motion if I need to, that we get a written update about what's been done and what the status is.
Yeah. So why don't we, if it's okay, why don't we, you don't need a motion for that. I think it's a proper request. I know there are people working on this, but why don't we get Mr. Cooper, our council director and legal director, to send to everybody a memorandum that kind of outlines where we are. So I think the request is appropriate. We apologize to the viewing audience. We apologize to the members of the council. I think my voice is about gone. We tried to, it's important for us to continue our business, but I agree that I think people are getting tired of this. I know I am, and no council members are too. We're working on it. We will give you an update, and then everybody can ask questions at the next meeting. I will tell you at the next meeting, we do have a lot of things going on. I know this was a short meeting, so be prepared to stay for a little longer at the next meeting. So having said that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn properly seconded. All in favor say aye. Opposed no. We're adjourned.
And so the council has concluded what would be its shortest meeting so far of the new term. This is its second one of 2020 and its 8th meeting overall since this council came into office in October. But frankly, it was a frustrating night for the council. You could hear pretty good in the television audience, but within the council chambers, because of technical issues that have bedeviled the council for the last several months, the people within the chamber were not able to hear very well, and you could feel the rising level of frustration as the meeting went on, trying to get through their regular business. They managed to do that, but they're asking for a written report on sort of how it is for Metro. Is a lot of people in Metro are working to try to get this fixed, and they still need to do some more work on that. To briefly recap what the council did tonight, they approved a resolution with one abstention and with one piece of opposition for Councilman Steve Glover and 2 abstentions to pass a resolution basically commending Governor Bill Lee for his executive order establishing 12 weeks of paid leave for state employees. They'd like Metro to do the same thing. That would include putting together a paid leave program for Metro schools and extending the one from 6 weeks for Metro out to the 12 weeks that the governor is going to do. Councilman Glover voted against it, saying that until Metro gets its budget under control, he's for the idea, but doesn't believe it's time to go forward to that. The 2 abstained, didn't say why they abstained, but it was probably in that same area. Council also on a late resolution tonight voted without any dissent in favor of a resolution that basically opposes the bill the legislature recently passed about adoptions that basically would, they say in the resolution, it would allow discrimination against LGBT couples from doing that. Governor Lee says he's going to sign the bill because he thinks it's a matter of religious freedom. And so the council went on record about that. It's interesting, there was no opposition to it at all, and they had to have unanimous consent for the council to be able to take a look at it. There was also a bill tonight that would have helped with the Metro budget crisis, the $40 million hole. It would have put $500,000 towards filling up that hole. It was going to allow the Sheriff's Department to get about $600,000 to house additional federal prisoners. That would have generated $1 million in income, so about $500,000 extra for Metro to go forward with that. But there's been some questions and concerns about it, so the bill was withdrawn. And the Sheriff's Department says they think out of savings in their own department from other things, they'll be able to take care and contribute that $500,000 to the situation. And so we probably won't see any more of that coming forward over the rest of the council. Another item was also on the agenda tonight was to, once again, for the council, as it did a lot in the last term of council, what to do about the scooters downtown. There's still a lot of work to be done on that, a lot of efforts to try to build consensus, so that bill was deferred for a couple of meetings. Also a bill up for the first time tonight, also deferred indefinitely because it would have set a restriction on limiting the amount of time motor vehicles can idle in Davidson County. It was an effort to try to do some things to help clean up the air in Davidson County, but a lot of confusion about how it would be enforced, if it could be enforced, and a lot of public education. So the sponsors decided to indefinitely defer it so they could educate the public before they try to legislate anything on that. There was also a bill tonight that Councilman Steve Glover deferred one meeting that would have delayed, that would have been involved with the construction of the MLS Soccer Stadium, although that is also being deferred for reasons because Mayor Cooper is trying to get some more answers about it. This particular bill would have required a building permit for a parking structure being near a stadium, arena, or a racetrack. Councilman Glover says he wants to find out one more thing about enforcement of the bill, so he put it off for another 2 weeks, but he does plan to bring it back. The council will be back in a couple of weeks to let many things on the agenda. There was going to be a rewrite of Metro's lobbying laws that would take effect in 2021, but that was deferred until it was passed on first reading, but been deferred, so it won't come up in the next meeting in February. It'll come up in May. A bill that will come up, first meeting in February, is the end to all Metro contracts with private prison operators. That would, if it takes effect and passed by the council and be on second reading next time, would take effect in July 2022. That could be quite expensive and take some controversy and debate about. Also, another bill that will be on that would pass first reading tonight would require a 90-day written notice from any landlord to a tenant in Davidson County if they're going to raise the rates. Right now, the state law on that appears to be 30 days, and about 46% of people, from one report I've seen, are renters in Davidson County, so this could have a pretty major impact. The council is now in recess until Tuesday, February 4th. We'll be here at that time to provide live coverage. Until then, good night from the council chambers.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.